Never before. the songbirds are singing like they knew the sky. And I love you, I love you, I love you like never before. And I wish you all the joy in the world, but most of all, I wish it for myself. And the songbirds are singing like they knew the sky. And I love you, I love you, I love you like never before. And the songbirds are singing like they knew the sky. And I love you, I love you, I love you like never before, like never before, like never
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Unity Temple in the Plaza, a place where diversity is praised and peace and harmony leave awards. I see so many new faces here today that I haven't seen for a long time, and I tell you, it just warms my heart. We have a lot of new things going on. My partner in ministry, Reverend Sandra Campbell, is the primary caretaker for her mother, who lives in the home with her. And she is very cautious in going out because she doesn't want to bring anything back to her mother who can't get vaccinated because of health issues. So she streams her talks in on the third and fourth Sunday of every month, but we still have the full service here, so please come back and join us. The bookstore is open today for the first time in 13 months, I believe, or 14 months or something like that. So yes, all sorts of fun things are happening that allow us to really feel a new awakening to what this temple used to be and what it is going to become as we move forward to truly experience a life that has a lot less stress and a lot less fear. The next Sunday, we are cleaning out all the closets and all the little caverns in this place. We're having a bazaar, which I used to refer to as a garage sale or a rummage sale or something, but all sorts of things. So you will have the opportunity after service next week to go downstairs and find somebody else's treasure that they've chosen to pass on. Also, I am very, very happy and proud to say that the directories are here. If you haven't picked one up, they're on the table outside. Just pick one up as you go. You don't have to sign anything. You don't have to pay anything. But it is full of wonderful pictures of all the people that were here 3 years ago. That's what it took to get this thing out. And everybody looks surprisingly young in this picture. Pre-COVID, pre-election, pre-all that stuff that kind of wore us down. Here, we're bright and sun-shining. So I invite you to pick up a directory on your way. We'll now begin the service with the temple chimes, the opening prayer, and Geneva Price and the call to inspiration. Please say this with me if you choose. On this day, we dedicate ourselves to peace on earth. We accept ourselves without harsh judgment and express appreciation for our individuality. We live without fear to meet the events of this day with confidence. We accept others without prejudice to experience a sense of unity with all people. We honor our earthly environment and recognize a oneness with all creation, in harmony with ourselves, our lives, other people, and all of nature. We live this day with a peaceful mind, a peaceful heart, and a peaceful spirit. Thank you, God. Amen.
Freshness of the morning, newness of each night, you are still creating endless love and light. This we see.
Yes, I do too.
As shadows part, many gifts from one great heart, many gifts from one great heart.
I used to think that I could not go on, and life was nothing but an awful song. But now I know the meaning of God's love. I'm leaning on the everlasting arms. If I can see it, then I can do it. If I just believe it, there's nothing to it. I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. Think about it every night and day. Spread my wings and fly away. I believe I can soar. See me running through His open door. I believe I can fly. I believe I can fly. I believe I can fly. See, I was on the verge of breaking down. Some silence, oh, the silence seems so loud. There are miracles in life I must achieve. But first, I know it starts inside of me. If I can see it, then I can do it. If I just believe it, then I can just spread my wings. I can fly. I can fly.
Thank you, Millie Edwards. I want to just share something with you real quick before I get into the lesson. And it's about an old Irish Catholic priest. And he was driving through the countryside to visit some of his parishioners that lived on a farm. On the way there, he got very, very ill. He didn't know if he'd be able to make the trip. He did, but when he got to the farmhouse, he collapsed. The farmer and his wife took him into the house, put him in bed, did everything they could to make him comfortable, but he just didn't seem to be coming around. So the farmer's wife said, maybe if we gave him some more milk, it might help him a bit. She didn't have any. She went out and milked the cow, warmed the milk up, and gave the priest a few sips. And that seemed to bring him around a little bit. He opened his eyes and he mumbled a few words. But the farmer and his wife were still very, very worried about the priest, that he wasn't going to make it. So together they said, maybe if we put a little whiskey in the milk, it might help. So they made another glass of warm milk, half whiskey, half milk. They went in and they gave it to the priest, and he started to come around a little bit more. And pretty soon his eyes were open, and he was able to talk. The farmer said to the priest, you've been a man of God for a long, long time. I'm sure you gained great wisdom and many spiritual insights. Can you tell us, give us some advice of what we can do to make our lives better in the future? The priest took another swallow of the whiskey milk and said, don't sell the cow. I laughed all week at that one. But maybe it's because of my background with people drinking whiskey milk in my family. Anyway, I am happy to be here today. This is the fourth part of a 5-part series on spiritual awareness, and it basically focuses on the 5 basic principles of unity that build the foundation for our entire belief system here in unity. The first principle in review is one power and one presence in the universe. What does that mean? There is one power in the universe. I mean, we have the United States, which is a powerful nation. We have Russia, which is a powerful nation. They're opposing powers. There's all sorts of powers that I see, from the very strong powers to the meek powers. But what does it mean, one power in the universe? Well, scientific speaking, back before there was anything, before the Big Bang, there was just a void in our universe. There was no physical substance. There was no matter. It was just empty, infinite mass of voidness. And then something happened. Something miraculously happened. Substance came into being, and it filled the universe in a split second. Tiny subatomic particles fill the entire universe, and I want you to really grasp the importance of this. For the first time in our universe, there was matter, there was substance, there was physical stuff that we are made of, that everything is made of. Now, before the Big Bang, that vast void of nothingness was 100% all God. After the Big Bang, when the universe was filled with physical substance, it was 100% all God. The subatomic materials that came forth with the Big Bang had potential to become everything that is today. And everything that is today is 100% all God. But yet we fall into this illusion that God is separate, that we're different from everybody else, that we are not connected. There is one thing going on here, and that is God. That is the energy, that is the power, that is the force, that is the creativity of the one power. Now, that one power is everywhere present. There's no place where it isn't. Scientists tell us, first of all, scientists call this oneness the unified mass. They talk about the unified mass, they talk about our universe. They look at the universe and they see substance, they see stars and they see planets and they see all sorts of different things, but they also believe that they are all connected, that there's still one thing going on. There's a planet, space between the planet, and there's another planet, the space between the planet. It is all God. If there's one thing that I hope we can all get, and that humanity as a whole can get today or in the very, very near future for us, is that we are not separate from God. That is the bottom line here. Now, we believe that, I think, because we've heard it told from credible voices, and the Fillmores use that as one of their foundations. We believe that, but we don't know that, because we don't really know something until we experience it consistently. I believe many, many things, and I have believed many things in the past. I've come to know that I was wrong because I experienced something that was exactly contrary to what I believed in. So with this, there's one presence. That means that this God, this energy, this force, this power is within you. Every single part of you. There's no place within you where God isn't. That also means that power, that presence brings to you spiritual attributes provided for us. It's an inherent quality. It's been given to us in order to negotiate life and provide for ourselves a comfortable and fulfilling life. We've been given everything we need to move forward and evolve, and we have the same potential that the subatomic particles had 14 billion years ago, approximately. 100% all God everywhere, including that within us. Now, Einstein said, and I want to read this to you, a human being is a part of the whole called by us the universe, a part limited in time and space. We experience our thoughts and feelings as something separated from the rest, a kind of optical delusion of our consciousness. This delusion is a kind of prison for us, restricting us to our personal desires and to affection for a few persons nearest to us. Our task must be to free ourselves from this prison by widening our circle of compassion to embrace all of life and the whole of beauty of nature in its beauty. Now, I believe that. I believe what he's saying. We all need to widen our circle of compassion to take in everybody and everything because it's all a part of us. This doesn't mean you have to necessarily like somebody if their actions are crude or obnoxious, but it also doesn't mean that you have to be repulsed by them and deny that there's a separation between us. Our compassion can love even the most unlovable things. So, the objective before us as humanity is to increase our awareness within this realm of consciousness that we have to better understand and to know that we are all one. How do we do that? We do that with our consciousness. Consciousness is everything. There's nothing that takes place outside the realm of consciousness. Every single one of us here has exactly the same degree of consciousness as anybody else. And that might be hard to believe, but it's the truth. It's not the consciousness that dictates who we are, what we are, the life that we lead, but it's our awareness within that realm of consciousness. Sometimes that awareness is so small and so stubbornly stuck that it doesn't see love for everybody, but as awareness within the consciousness expands, we understand better and we come to know that as being the truth. Consciousness for everybody is exactly the same. God within is the same for everybody. The meek has the same inner strength as the mighty. The child has the same wisdom as the master. We are all the same. Nobody got short-shrifted. We're not dealing with the God that's here today, gone tomorrow. We're not dealing with a God that leaves us when times are tough and comes back to us when times are good. God is present in our lives all the time. And increasing our awareness within the realm of consciousness moves us to the point where we understand that better. So how do we do that? How do we increase our awareness within this realm of consciousness that we have? Well, it takes a certain intention to be able to be willing to move beyond that awareness that we have within our consciousness now and move into a realm where we don't have a lot of the things that upset our lives. We need to be willing to say, maybe I don't know all that there is to know. Not only about life itself, but other people that I somehow don't seem to like. We have to be willing to move into our consciousness and allow the higher consciousness to take over. Now, this isn't as easy to sound because we have been plagued, so to speak. We have been inundated with impressions. We have been religiously abused by thoughts and feelings and attitudes and perceptions that hold us back from thinking that there is more to life than what we know. We have thoughts, feelings, attitudes, and perceptions about other people, about other things, and even about ourselves. We can have this sense of separation within ourselves. It's fractured within the self, where you have the self that is out doing things in the world, then you have the other self that is critical, the harshly judgmental self that is always given a 24-hour, moment-by-moment commentary on how you are and how you're doing. Feelings of unworthiness, low self-esteem, feelings of inferiority. It's all that critical self that is telling you you're not as good as you should be. And where does that voice come from? You weren't born with it. You didn't come into this world and say, okay, self, come on, let's get going. We've got work to do. Oh, no, you didn't do that right. Where does that voice come from? It comes from outside of yourself. Every single thing you feel about yourself has been told to you, communicated to you one way or another. By somebody, by something, by the norms or by the cliques in school or whatever. Everything you feel about yourself has been told to you. So, if we can move beyond what we've been told and open ourselves up to the truth, we can understand that every single one of us is an expression of God's Spirit. There's a fellow named Murray Banks, lived in Minnesota, and he went around and talked about self-esteem and all sorts of different things. And he would pass out cards and give them to the people in the audience and say, I want you to rate yourself from 1 to 10. So people wrote down on the card a certain number. And they said, please hold your card up. Everybody hold their cards up. And, usually it's between 5 and 7. Occasionally there's an 8 or a 9. Or there's, somebody that's really happy with themselves and they put down 10 plus. And then there's some people that put down 1 or 2 because they just can't accept themselves the way they are. But for the first time ever, he saw someone hold up a 10. And it was a little girl in a wheelchair. And she had cerebral palsy. And after his talk, he went down and he said, I noticed he held up a 10. I've never seen that before. Tell me. What makes you think that? And she said, and we've all heard this before, she said, because God does not make junk. Isn't that the truth? God does not make junk. Well, every time we depreciate ourselves in any way, basically we're recategorizing ourselves as an expression of the divine spirit, and we're lowering ourselves to something less than what God is. If we want to have a oneness with God, it's absolutely necessary that we have a oneness with what God is, and God is it all. There's no way that we can have a close, intimate relationship with God if We feel that God does not like us. God condemns us. God thinks that we're unworthy by nature. And those are all the things that I learned growing up in this very fundamental church back in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, that I wasn't good, and that I was an embarrassment to God, and that I needed to suffer through this lifetime in order to gain salvation and be ushered into heaven in the next lifetime. That had a huge effect. Matter of fact, it led me to the point when I got older and I got confirmed where it had the opposite effect. I left God, I left Jesus, I left church, and I was basically an atheist. Didn't think about religion, didn't condemn religion, just didn't want to have anything to do with it. George Carlin, I think, said it best. I'd like to read you what he said. Religion has convinced people that there's an invisible man living in the sky who watches everything you do every minute of the day. And the invisible man has a list of the 10 specific things he doesn't want you to do. And if you do these things, he will send you to a special place of burning fire and smoke and torture and anguish for you to live forever and suffer and burn and scream until the end of time. But he loves you and he needs money. Now, please, and I'm not making fun of religion or ancient institutions, believe me. At the time, some of these things were thought up thousands of years ago. That was their best guess, based on what they had to deal with. But that was then and this is now. I mean, can we truly grasp some of these things that certain religions are putting out? Not condemning them. And also, we always have to leave a certain openness. They might be right. I don't think so, but they might be. If they believe that and it serves them, that's fine. So I'm not going to get into that. But we have to release all of those thoughts that condemn ourselves, that cause a separation within ourselves, all of those thoughts that keep us away from God because it's a mean, retaliatory God, and just allow ourselves to be in the presence of God, once again, which is it all. To move forward, I want you to think about some emotion that reoccurs in your life on a regular basis, occasionally, or maybe continually, that upsets your life, that hampers your peace of mind, that causes you to create a separation between you and another person, or between you and an event, or between you and another country, or another group. It doesn't make any difference. Anything that causes that sense of separation between you, it's going to outpicture in an emotion. It might be anger. It might be jealousy. It might be guilt. It might be shame. All sorts of emotions that come into play that actually deteriorate and depreciate our experience of life. There might be many. What is one? Is it deep-seated anger that continually disrupts your life and disturbs things that are going on around it? Is it conflicts in relationships? Just think of one thing. We want to determine one thing that we would be perfectly okay leaving behind and moving forward. Once we determine that, the next step is to become aware. We know when anger is coming upon us. It's almost like we can hear the knocking on the door or the footsteps down the hall. First of all, we start to breathe a little heavy when the presence of somebody is making us angry. And then our face gets flushed. And then sometimes, my hand will twitch. And then it's like anger shows up and blows everything up. So becoming aware when it starts, then we're able to stop it. Now, every single thing we think, 95% of the thoughts we think and the feelings we have are habitual. And that means that through our lifetime, we've gathered together certain reactions to certain situations and circumstances, and we just follow that pattern. Whether it works for us or it doesn't, we become habitually engaged in it, so when something happens, anger pops up. We don't call it up and say, anger, I need you here because I'm having a bit of a problem with this person. It gives us a fair warning, and it pops up, and there it is. When we are aware that it's coming, it's very easy to pause, stop, and diffuse it. Now, the way we do that, this is very, very simple. I mean, there's books, hundreds of books on different ways to change your mind and different things you can do and all sorts of poses and practices and stuff that go on. But the age-old practice of counting backwards from 10 to 1 is as effective as anything. When you feel that anger coming on or that jealousy coming on or that sadness or whatever it might be, you just stop, pause, take a deep breath, close your eyes, unless you're driving, and count backwards from 10 to 1. When you get to 1, we then open our eyes or we look around and we find something of beauty around us. Sometimes it's a sunset, sometimes it's a sunrise, sometimes it's a beautiful flower, sometimes it's a baby, sometimes it's a nice person walking down the street with a pleasant smile. Beauty abounds. And when we are transfixed or mesmerized by something beautiful in our world, that is the closest we can come to communing with God. I mean, when I look at the glory of a sunset with a burning orange sky, or a sunrise, or a flower, a tree, or people, when I look at you, and I marvel at the beauty of you in your life, I am communing with God. I'm expressing to God my awe of it all. With beauty, the researchers say, when we're engaged in it, it uplifts our spirit. Beauty is one of our basic needs, and it is everywhere. So, when we want to change a certain disposition within our mind, when we want to widen our spiritual awareness, our conscious awareness, we first of all understand or determine what it is that we no longer have use for. And then we write it down. That's very important. Write it down on a piece of paper and put it someplace where you see it on a daily basis. If it's anger, you see anger and says, yes, that's what I'm leaving behind. It kind of recharges us that my objective, my goal, is to move beyond this anger in this particular instance. Then we become aware when anger comes back to visit. We say, nope, you're not welcome here. Sorry, we've moved on. And when we do this, we disrupt the pattern of the habitual thoughts that we have. It's called a pattern interruption. We just stop. I don't want to go there. I want to go here. Now, everything that we do doesn't come as easy as snapping our fingers. It's a practice. And we've been doing this our whole lives. We learn how to walk. We practice and practice and practice. We fell down, we got up, and we practiced. But each time we got a little bit better. Each time we fell down, the next time we attempted to walk, within us came a greater sense of balance, a greater sense of coordination, because we didn't want to fall. We learned to stay close to something that we could grab onto. It's repetition. And every time we repeat something, we move a step forward towards the goal, which is to widen our spiritual awareness. Now, if we don't do this, we don't do something to increase the awareness that we have within our realm of consciousness, that means that we're going to stay there. It means like we've moved in and sat down, and this is it. We have potential to grow. We have potential to become more than we've ever been. Humanity as a whole has potential to truly make of this world a peaceful place. And that's in the big picture, I am sure. It took 13 billion years to get us to this point. It's not going to take nearly that much to get us to the point where there's peace on earth and goodwill to all. And that begins with each one of us individually. So think about that as we move into meditation. What is it that you've had enough of? You want to pat it in the back and say goodbye. We'll now move into meditation.
Our thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. Our thoughts are you're saying, seek a higher consciousness, a state of peacefulness, and know that God is always there, and every thought becomes a prayer.
Okay, take a moment to find a comfortable way to rest your body in your seat. Take a deep breath, hold it for a moment, and then slowly exhale. And then another deep breath. If presently you're feeling any sort of anxiety or fear or worry in your life, we're going to take a moment to suspend that. Just set it aside. You know it'll be perfectly okay. You can pick it up when you leave here if you'd like. But for now, we're just going to go to a place that is peaceful, that is restful, a place of harmony and love. In your mind, please count backwards with me from 10 to 1, 10, 9, 8. With each number, feel more and more relaxed. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Another deep breath and slowly exhale. Now call to mind something in your life that is truly beautiful, something that you cherish, whether it's a regular part of your life or something that just happened once. Find the beauty of life and we find God. What is it that draws you closer, that makes you feel as one with the grand schematics of the entire universe? slowly begin to come back to this time and this place. And bring that peaceful feeling with you. You hold within you spiritual attributes of love, hope, faith, inner strength, perseverance, joy. So many beautiful things that you can utilize and rise above and move beyond anything that does not add to in a positive way to your life. And we do go forth this day to live with a peaceful mind, a peaceful heart, and a peaceful spirit. For it all, we say thank you. Amen.
Creator of the earth, you give us your truth and life. We are wise. You give us your power. We are strong. You give us your love. You give us your love. And we are at peace. We are at peace.
All the games people play now, every night and every day now, never meaning what they say now, never saying what they mean, and they while away the hours in their ivory towers to be covered up with flowers in the back of a black limousine. happening to you and me. God grant me the serenity to remember who I am, y'all. 'Cause you've given up your sanity, oh, your pride and your vanity. Turn your back on humanity, and it's a dirty, rotten shame now. Na 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 dee. Talking about you and me and the games people play now. Na 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 dee. Na 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 dee. Talking about you and me and the games people play now. Talking about you and me and the games people play now. Talking about you and me and the games people play.
Thank you, Millie Edwards. For those of you who haven't been here for a while, we do not pass the offering plate anymore because it was a transference of germs or something. But that does not mean we don't need money. There's baskets out front if you'd like to leave a donation when you go. That's greatly appreciated. If you want to become an ambassador, and that's recurring giving, that is great as well. No pressure, but we're open to receiving our higher prosperity. The second thing, how's the temperature in here? Anybody cold? Good. Kind of cold? We're still kind of playing around with that. It's too early to turn the air conditioner on, and the heat has been turned off, so we're relying on air from outside, and it does get a bit chilly. We also have the ionizers that we're putting out cold air and kind of a breeze, which we have turned off once the service starts. So, this is Gay Pride Month. We honor our LGBTQ brothers and sisters, and a huge part of this community, always have been, and we give them this tribute. There we go. Let's have a round of applause for the gay community. This concludes our service today. Some of you might have already forgot the 5 steps for the pattern interruption. That'll be on our website tomorrow, so you can pull it up and follow that if you'd like. And I will close with the prayer for protection and the peace song. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Please stand.